Florida, the Sunshine State, long seen as the crown jewel of America's housing boom. But after years of relentless growth, the tide may be turning. Across the state, homes that once sold in days are now sitting for weeks, even months. Buyers are pulling back, sellers are quietly retreating. And experts are asking the same question. Is Florida's real estate market finally crashing? According to real estate analyst Mike Simonson, founder and CEO of Altos Research, the number of homes for sale in Florida is finally declining after 2 years of steady increases. For over 100 consecutive weeks, inventory across the state climbed, as sellers rushed to list their properties, eager to catch the tail end of a pandemic-driven frenzy. Now, for the first time since that surge began, the trend is reversing. Simonson calls it notable because it may mean that the desperate sellers are gone, and those who can afford to wait are choosing to do so. In short, Florida's housing market has changed direction. To understand why, we need to go back 5 years. Between 2020 and 2022, Florida was ground zero for a construction boom. Developers rushed to meet a once-in-a-generation surge in demand. Low borrowing costs, remote work, and domestic migration brought tens of thousands of new residents into the Sunshine State. Cities like Tampa, Miami, and Orlando became magnets for buyers seeking space, sunshine, and relative affordability. But that affordability and that demand didn't last. When the Federal Reserve began its aggressive rate hikes in 2022 to fight inflation, mortgage rates spiked. Employers called workers back to the office, and Florida home prices, up more than 30% from 2019, suddenly looked far less inviting. The result? A glut of homes and a growing affordability crisis. By mid-2025, Florida's housing inventory had reached historic levels. According to data from Altos Research and Compass, there were 96,134 single-family homes listed for sale, down slightly from the spring peak of over 100,000 listings. When counting all types of homes, Redfin reported a total of 214,500 properties on the market. That's up 5.4% year-over-year, but notably down from April's peak of over 241,000 listings. These numbers reveal an important shift. Inventory is still high, but falling. And analysts say this decline may not be a sign of strength, but of sellers stepping away. Traditionally, housing inventory falls at the end of summer, a seasonal pattern that follows the busy spring selling season. But Florida, says Simonson, had no seasonality at all for 2 years straight. For 110 consecutive weeks, inventory only went up. So when inventory started falling this year, analysts took notice. Simonson believes that many of the most urgent sellers have already sold, and those who don't have to sell are simply withdrawing their listings. Chen Zhao, head of economic research at Redfin, agrees. She told Newsweek that sellers are pulling back because of price weakness. Many are waiting out this uncertain period, hoping for stronger demand in the future. Jake Krimmel, senior economist at Realtor.com, says Florida's inventory decline is happening for the wrong reasons. According to him, new listings have been falling every month since May, down 2% in May, 4.8% in July, and over 7% by September. Meanwhile, delistings, homes taken off the market, have surged. In August 2025 alone, delistings were up 60% year-over-year, even as active inventory grew just 18%. Typically, falling inventory means a market is heating up, but in Florida, the opposite is happening. Zhao notes that while declining inventory could help stabilize prices, the state still faces an affordability crisis, alongside growing concerns about climate risk and insurance costs. Demand, she says, has improved only slightly. Lower rates and modest price drops are drawing a few buyers back, but economic uncertainty continues to keep many on the sidelines. Krimmel calls it a paradox. Inventory is falling not because homes are selling faster, but because sellers are giving up. The average time a listing stays on the market has risen by 14 days compared with last year, and pending sales, a leading indicator of demand, have fallen month after month since May. Homes are sitting longer, buyers are hesitant, and sellers are pulling out. So what's next for Florida's housing market? Experts predict that inventory may continue to decline in the near term, not because of renewed demand, but because of reduced construction activity. As Zaw explains, there's a lot less new construction in the pipeline. Developers have slowed projects, and many homeowners are locked in to low-rate mortgages from the pandemic era. But eventually, life circumstances, job changes, retirement, family needs will force some owners to sell. But for now, many Floridians are simply holding tight. The market, once feverish, is cooling into a cautious stalemate. Florida's housing story is one of extremes, a state that soared during the pandemic housing boom and is now grappling with the aftermath. Prices remain high, affordability is strained, and both buyers and sellers are hesitating in uncertainty. The decline in listings might seem like a sign of recovery, but beneath the surface, it tells a more complicated story of rising costs, fading confidence, and a market still searching for balance. As the Sunshine State adjusts to a new reality, one question remains: is this a temporary slowdown or the beginning of a deeper correction?